the options with Genius to control all the heating in various zones, rooms. Allows you to use an app. You can run part of the heating at one time, other parts of heating at another time, can control your hot water, can even bring in the immersion system on the hot water if the boiler system fails. I think instead of just having the whole house on from in the morning and then again in the evening, we can now schedule it so that the bedrooms come on first in the morning and then the downstairs is coming on just prior to us coming downstairs, so it's already warm. You're only heating the parts of the house that you're using, not heating the parts that you're not using. Genius do the option of their guys coming in and doing an installation, but considering that the electricians were already here and most of the wiring we could just incorporate with them, so we took the option of doing it between myself and the electrician. When we decided to have Genius, we decided to actually, if we're going to go for it in a fairly big way, and that we've put valves on all the radiators except for the towel rails in the bathrooms, which we have run just whenever the radiator heating is on. The Genius also controls the underfloor heating separately, and it controls the hot water system. It's got a thermostat in there, so it's all thermostatically controlled. I think the Genius has helped improve the comfort in the fact that the rooms tend to be a lot more uniform. You don't tend to find some rooms are cooking, some rooms are freezing, but now with the electronic valves on each one, the rooms tend to stay more uniform. The spare room, when we're not using it, we've dropped that 3 or 4 degrees on the rest of the house. So yes, you'll walk in there and you'll find it noticeably cooler, but we're not wasting energy heating a room we're not using. During the renovation project, it became clear that with such a big room, heating, we had to look at it seriously. Radiators, there wasn't the wall space, find them slightly obtrusive. So underfloor heating was a great option. The thing we'd had originally planned to go with electric underfloor heating because we had an existing floor and then a new floor. So we looked into it, and then cost-wise, it made perfect sense. It was actually cheaper to go with the JK system than it was to go with the electric, and then to run it in the future would be about 2/3 the price. JK, as far as I'm aware, is the only one at the moment doing the system where they come and route the floor. So by getting it routed, the floor level remained the same, which meant the tiles feeding through to the different rooms are all going to be the same level as they were existing. Initially people were saying, about dust and things like that. Well, the house was all apart at the time and we'd been living with dust for a couple of months with the renovation, and to be honest, dust wasn't a problem. The only time you ever noticed any dust when they were doing the floor was when the vacuum got full. There'd be a little puff, they would stop, they would change, and the guys vacuumed everything up afterwards anyway. The quoting process was quite straightforward. I sent Alan, the representative, a floor diagram because we had all the plans from the extension that was in process. So he could look at it, work out exactly what the square meterage, how many circuits were required for the water system, and then he just said, did we want any zones? We've given 2 zones, and then he came up with a price. Once we had a firm date, then we just put that into the scheme with the build going on, and the whole process for them to come and install it took a day. So it was quite straightforward. They turned up about 10 o'clock in the morning and they were gone by about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything all tidied up, just left a few bags of rubbish for us to dispose of. With the underfloor heating system, the comfort and the heat, just a nice, pleasant heat. You don't sort of get hot areas and cold feet. You can walk in here with bare feet and it's just pleasant. And the warmth seems to come through everything. So you don't find your feet are cold and your head's hot. It's just a nice uniform temperature. It's really pleasant. I'd recommend JK Underfloor heating for anybody that's, for example, like us, was doing an extension, and it just enabled us to put in underfloor water, underfloor heating, where probably we couldn't have done it otherwise, because it would have just given us uneven floors.